I should introduce myself. I am Simon. Some of you know me as Peter, is that right? Yes, Peter. I remember the first time he called me that, I knew not what he meant. Peter, rock. I thought he was referring to things in my head. That's funny to you. Well, when I was young, they used to say that Simon and intelligence were distant relatives. I want to say something right from the start. You have far too many churches named after me. Yes, you do. Far too many hospitals and plazas. I am not deserving. And you will discover that here tonight. If you must name something after someone, may I suggest my brother, Andrew. Do you know Andrew? Yeah, name things after Andrew. He's much more deserving. Do you know that I may never have met Jesus if it were not for Andrew? Did you know that? Yes, we were both followers of a man named John. We called him the baptizer because he used to baptize people in the Jordan River. Do you know of John? Yes? Yes, interesting man, John. He used to say that the Messiah was coming and would be here soon, and we were to prepare ourselves. Prepare ye the way, he would say. And many of us believed that John was right. Well, one day I was there on the shore of Lake Gennesaret, and I was repairing my nets. Do you know that I'm a fisherman? Well, let me tell you, I spend very little time actually fishing. Most of my time I spend repairing those nets. They're in constant need of repair. The sun dries them out. The water rots them. The fish tear through them. They become frayed, taking them across the side of the boat or dragging them on the shore. They're in constant need of repair. I'm always repairing those nets. I told a friend, they shouldn't call us fishermen. They should call us nettermen. Yeah, that's my humor, yes? Yes, well, one day I was there on the shore, I was repairing my nets, and my brother Andrew came running up, and he was all excited about something. And he started to shout, "He's here, he's here." And I looked around and I said, "Who's here? What are you talking about?" And he said, "The man foretold, the one that John's been telling us about, he's here." And I looked around and I said, "Well, where is he, Andrew?" And he said, "Well, he's not here. He is speaking this very day in Bethany." He said, "And we must go and listen to him." And I said, yes, we must. I said, "Help me with my nets. Let's get them back up onto the boat." And I remember this very well because he actually helped me. Most times he would say, "Yes, I'll be there, Simon, I'll help," and he never shows up. But this time he helped me, and we got the nets back up onto the boat, and then we made that long walk to Bethany. Now, when we arrived, there were 400 or 500 people there, all listening to this one man. And we were late, and so Andrew said, let's go to the back, and we made our way to the back, and he kept pointing. He said, "That's him, that's the man." And I strained my eyes, and did you know that I have bad eyesight? No, I do. I think it's those years on the water and the sun shining, and I strained my eyes to see, and may I give you my first impression? Yes, I said to Andrew, I said, "Are you sure that that's him?" I said, "He's rather small." Well, Andrew looked at me and he said, "Well, not everyone eats as much as you do, Simon." Well, that's my brother's humor. Do you know that we stood there and we listened to him as he spoke for 3.5 hours? Yes. I would come to find with Jesus that he would oftentimes speak for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours at a time. Once I was with him and he spoke for 1.5 days with nary a break. Do your preachers preach that long? It only seems like it? Is that what you're saying? Yes. Well, Jesus would speak that long. Well, when he had finished, Andrew said, let us go and meet him. And I said, yes. So we made our way through the crowd of people, and when we came to Jesus, there was a line. There were other people that wanted to speak to him, and so we got into line and waited our turn, and I remember at one point I was turned sideways. And knowing me, I was talking to someone, and probably a stranger, someone I didn't even know, and I'm talking to him, and then I remember I turned. And there, standing in front of me, for the first time, was Jesus. And I saw into his eyes. And I will tell you, when I looked into his eyes, there was no doubt in my mind as to who he was. And I said to him, Rabbi, I am Simon Bar Jonah, son of John. And he said, no. He said, you are Peter. He called me Peter. Me. Well, as I told you, I knew not what he meant. I would come to find with Jesus that he would say many things that I would have no idea what he meant. It would be 3 years later at a place called Solomon's Portico. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I believe with all my heart that Jesus spoke in parables, mainly for me. Do you know parables? Stories? Yes, well, I believe that he told stories mainly to help me to understand. And may I confess something to you? Most of the time, I didn't understand the parable. Do you have that problem? Yes? Here's what I did. I will tell you. I would go to him and I would say, Jesus, yes, wonderful story. I said, may I speak with you privately? I always wanted to go privately because I didn't want the others to know I didn't know. And we would go around someplace where we could be private, and I would say, now, explain this to me. Faith the size of a mustard seed could move mountains. Explain that to me. And do you know, each and every time he would take whatever time was necessary to explain it. And then when he finished, I'd say, oh, yes, of course, I understand. Yes, small faith, big mountain move. Yes, I understand. And I'd walk away, and half the time I didn't even understand his answer. But I didn't let him know that.